Hey guys, I know it's a little bit late, but had a crazy day. Internet going in and out. One thing about being in a residential area, if they're working on somebody else's internet or whatever, they may unhook a main line, or you just may be on the line of the person's house that they're working on. You don't know, they're not going to tell you. So it's just been a kind of a frustrating on and off day. But it's just par for the course. Um, and then again, another day where I've got a 50-50 chance of picking the best opening range stock. And of course, the one I didn't pick worked. But today it was a little bit different scenario. And I'll explain that to you here in a second. But first question, or the only question I have for you today, do you have a governor? Okay, and I'm not talking about the guy that's sitting in your state capitol. I'm talking about the governor. It's a piece, a component, or software, whatever you use now, that will restrict the amount of fuel, air, spark, or whatever to an engine to slow the car down. Now, it could be for safety reasons. It could be for performance reasons. For us, as a drag racer, this is my car that I used to run super stock with on the IHRA circuit. And for us, we would try to run as fast as we can in qualifying, because the better qualifying spot we had, the better chance we had of getting the lane that we want. And a lot of times, having the best lane could be, the difference between you winning and losing. So we always kind of wanted that lane choice or that option. But when the race started, we needed our car to be consistent. And if we're running on a ragged edge all the time, we're not going to see any consistency. It's going to be all over the place because it's right on the ragged edge. So consistency won races. So likewise in NASCAR, years ago, NASCAR went to a restrictor plate because cars got too fast and they were really dangerous. But you look at cars now, and when they're qualifying, they're trying to win the pole. There's money, there's points, and there's all of these things that you want to have your best qualifying effort. So what they do is they tape up all the radiator openings, all of the brake ducts and all of that, so that the car is totally sealed. The air will pass around it better, more aerodynamic, and they get a better qualifying time. But if they start the race like that, the car won't last half the race. It will burn up. It will overheat, burn up. You lose your brakes. You've got to govern these things and slow them down so that they're consistent and that they could be consistently fast over a period of time. So how does that relate to trading? Well, we have to learn how to govern ourselves. We need a governor. We need to slow down sometimes. When we get too far ahead and we start moving too fast, we have to stop, because if we don't, we can mess ourselves up. Today I had a scenario where I started moving too fast and I had to stop. I had to take a time out. I had to employ that governor so I could slow down and really see what's happening. And that's what we need to do. As traders, we need a governor. We have to govern ourselves accordingly in the market and have something that we can put in place to slow us down and keep us consistent. Consistent in how we come in the market and execute every day. So that's why I asked if you have a governor. If you don't, we need to work on getting you one so that you can stay consistent and stay in the game. All right, so tomorrow, the tax course starts tomorrow. in our community. It's in the new chat room starting at 4:30. You guys that signed up that weren't members, if I haven't emailed you, I think I got everybody, but if I haven't emailed you, shoot me an email, ed@averagejoetrader.com, and I'll get you the link. The good thing about this, guys, those of you that did sign up and you weren't members, you are now. Starting, the price of the class was the same as the GPS to success. So I don't know why I didn't put the dots together earlier. You pretty much paid for it. So if you want it, you got it. I'm starting the clock January 1st. So you have 6 months starting January 1st in order to take advantage of community, go through all the classes I've got. If you want to join us in the chat room, you got that option. So if I haven't emailed you, make sure you shoot me an email. For all you members, right there in chat tomorrow at 4:30. It will be recorded. All right. So if you miss it, it will be recorded, and it'll be right there where all of the other courses are on the website. Under the member video section. So just remember, tomorrow at 4:30, this is a series of classes. It's not just one. We're going to really dig deep into it. On the very first one tomorrow, we're going to focus on you guys who traded in offshore accounts all year. Why you need to report, the things that you need to make sure you do. And we're just going to go from there. So it's going to cover everything. But because of everything with SureTrader closing, and a lot of you guys are trading overseas, there's some things that you really need to be aware of. And that's what we're going to kick it off with, and then just kind of build it up from there. All right. So today, now what happened today? I had two stocks, like I said, 50-50 chance. Now, I wanted to trade MDB. That was what I really wanted to do. Looking at it this morning, but over the last couple of weeks, I've had this buzzing in my ear saying, Ed, why do you trade all these stocks over $100? We're in here. We don't have the money. We can't trade those. Why don't you trade $20, $30 stocks? I want to see you trade those. Those are the ones that we could trade, even though I would be employing the same strategy. But a lot of times, these $20 stocks do not offer the move potential. So even if you could trade this with small size, you would need to size up in order to really make money on it. But I chose this stock today not because this was the best setup. It's because I was thinking of all that buzzing I was hearing. And I made this mistake, and I have to fess up to it. I was making this mistake a lot when I first started because I was trying to please everybody. The reality is, it doesn't matter what the price of the stock is. If it's not an ideal setup and I have a stock that's better, it's my responsibility to trade that stock that's going to give me the best opportunity. Bottom line. But I didn't do that today, and you see what happened. Now, there were some people that did trade this stock on a faster time frame that made money on this first candle, first 5-minute candle. I'm one of those that like to trade the shorter time frames and get longer, more defined moves. So you can see we had this huge candle here, and because of that, I was going to go with 500 shares, but after I saw this candle and this stock opened and I had to wait to get in. I was looking for this thing to pull down to the 200, but I still had my cursor on the 500. I wasn't really looking at it. I'm always just looking at the chart, and I try to have my cursor over the button that I want to use. It was still on the 500, so when I got in at 500 shares versus the 300 that I wanted, and sure enough, it started to sell, and then it ripped up on me and ended up stopping me out. And so instead of waiting and kind of resetting, waiting for the setup to happen and give me some confirmation that the stock is settling down now after this volatility, I just jumped in. I jumped in under the pre-market low here, and it did make a move down, but then it got immediately bought back up, and you can see where I stopped out. And this time I got in with the right position size. But here, we pushed up, we rejected, we had a nice big wick here, another decent wick, we rejected. So now I'm going to get in. I'm not going to wait to break this. I'm going to get in on the 5-minute open range low. So here, I know that I am out of control at this point. I know this is revenge trading. This is me needing to govern myself. I need to put that governor in and slow myself down because I'm just getting out of sorts. And I'm very fortunate that this didn't come and stop me out. This came within maybe 3 cents of stopping me out. And then eventually it worked. And I was able to get some. Here I was being a little greedy. I should have taken it right here. But I was looking to see if we were going to sell through it. And I ended up, giving up about 15 cents, 20 cents. And took profit here, took 2/3 off here, and then, once the trend pretty much put itself in, here we broke this level, we pulled back, it held, so it didn't make any sense waiting for this to go all the way back to break even, because it would have stopped me out, even though it turned around and made the move I was looking for. It would have stopped me out at break even anyway. So I felt the change in momentum, so I went ahead and took this one off. But, really, really terrible trading this morning. I mean, this was awful. And number one, I should never have traded the stock. I did it because I wanted to appease some of the people that wanted to see me trade these smaller stocks. There's nothing wrong with them. You just have to make sure that you trade the right ones and that they have the best setup. Now, this was nice coming out of the gate, but once it started this crazy mess, this is when you walk away. All right, so MDB, this is another one that I had on my watch list, and this was really good, a really, good trade under the 200. Okay, here was an opening range. Still, if I got in here, this was 2 points. 2 points here, 3 points. And I could have waited and got in again. Man, I could have made a ton of money on this if I had focused on. This was the one that I wanted to trade. But like I said, I made that decision for the wrong reasons, and it messed me. I didn't get this big move here, but I did wait. You see, we had to bounce. We pulled back. We bounced here and made a higher low, but we made a lower high and rejected the 9 and rejected this daily level here. So that was my trigger to get in. So I got in. And in true market fashion, it decided to play with me. Now, this did make a higher low. And this is what we're seeing lately. We're seeing the market trying to shake us out because they know what we independent equities traders look for. We look for higher highs and lower lows, or higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. They know that's what we look for. And on algorithms too, they know. Computers can learn these days. And all this was shake and bake. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. And so we're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to kind of rely more on our volatility stops versus technicals, because they're just wearing these technicals out. Even though these are good trending stocks and they're making really good moves, this choppiness is doing nothing but shaking us out that are unaware. And that's pretty much what this did. And here we bounced here. We made a higher low compared to this. We made a higher high compared to this bounce. But it rejected the 20, rejected this level here again, came back through, and it just worked its way down. And it was just a matter of just being patient and allowing it to work and hit your target. And that's what it did. Hit my target here. I was expecting it to fall through red to green on down and maybe bounce and reject here again, but it just kind of held up here. So I ended up taking some more off, just based on the price action I saw. And you can see it traded sideways for about 20, 25 minutes. And then it decided to sell off. And this was my final target, this 129.60 level. And went ahead and took it off. And here's where I had another bout with the internet, which it just made me miss this. Completely missed this trade. This was a textbook bounce, rejection, trend continuation trade, entry right here. Just over 128. Right down to the next level where it bounced. And then we've got a decent reversal. This wasn't clean here because the 9 was too close. But this would have been a good scalp if that's what you're looking for. But the 9, the 20 here, we kind of hung up on this level. Once we got through this level, that's where I was able to take it. Again, the internet deal just kind of messed all of this up. So I would have been able to nail this for another, trade or two. But being patient, again, having that governor in place really helped me focus and trade what I could, and didn't let this other stuff affect me. And I was really expecting it to go to the 100, because that's typically what we've been seeing lately, that it breaks through the 50, and the 100 has been king. But here we just couldn't make it, and ended up having to stop out at break even. But really, really good after the morning, coming back and being able to nail this, and even through all of the intermittent internet outages and stuff, to make it work. I mean, really, really ended the day on a high note. So we ended up to 1993 from being down over $600. Both of those trades, max loss was $300. It hit it both times. So that was a no-brainer. But you can see, to bring this back, well, actually, no, $500. Wasn't as bad as I thought. Oh, no, it was, because I did make a little bit of money back on that one trade. So, yeah, it was. Because I know I hit max loss twice on that. But MDB could have easily been over $1,000 trade. Just like blue yesterday, easily could have been over $1,000 trade. But, you know, I had to accept, what I did this morning and work around what I had to work around, and then that was that. All right, so I did close out DLTR. Okay, here was the entry. We looked at that yesterday. You could see this thing was moving great, and I showed you this yesterday. This was my target up here, and this thing was screaming today. I think it opened here, and it was screaming up toward my target, but I don't know what happened. I still need to look at the news or something and see what happened. I still haven't looked to see what happened here, but the bottom fell out of this. I mean, I don't have the 5-minute chart up. If you look at the 5-minute chart, man, the bottom fell out of this. So I had to take it off. And I looked at it after lunch, and I was like, what the hell's going on with this stock? And I looked at the daily chart and saw that I broke the low of the previous day. We're done. Now, I'm not holding through a big pullback, and this thing is probably going to continue lower. If I would swing short, this will be perfect for me to swing short, but I don't do that. So took that off. Ended up 435.54, and I calculated this today. I was up over $2,000 on this, and to have to take $400 on this really is disappointing. But this is what you have to deal with and what you have to accept in swing trading. You never know what's going to happen in the market. Never. The stock could be just moving on up, like right here. This stock was just moving on up. It opened here and it went higher, and then the plug got pulled. Now, one day. Now, I never made a lower low relative to the previous candle, but look at that day. You never know what's going to happen in the market. So take it off, live to fight another day. All cash in my swing account, my short-term swing account. Probably won't get in any more trades. I'll look in the morning and see. If I do, I'll let you guys know, but I'm probably going to sit on the side until we do our scans on Sunday and build our watch list, because I didn't get to have a watch list for this week. I was traveling on Sunday and really didn't get to put one together. All right, so that's going to do it for me. Don't forget tax class tomorrow at 4:30. And you guys have a great night, and I will see you in the morning. Well, this is the morning. I'll see you in a couple hours.